Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Middleman T in the building. It's Middleman TV in the building, and we are back. It's been about 5, 6 days since giving y'all some info on boxing, man. But yesterday was an insane day of boxing. So before I go to work, we gotta chop it up on this live, man, and talk about some of the stuff that's been going on in the boxing world, man. And obviously, we're gonna have some open boxing talks too for as long as I can be on here. But man, let's start with the upset of, man, maybe in the last decade, man. Like, I ain't gonna say in the last decade, but definitely of this year. No question about it. Like, upsets happen in boxing all the time. But the fact that Jaime Munguia got knocked out by a guy that nobody's heard of. I mean, we have to speak about this for years to come, man. Jaime Munguia was on the verge of potentially fighting Caleb Plant, maybe a Edgar Berlanga or Christian Mabili, or even crazier, maybe even a rematch with Canelo Alvarez. So to me, for Jaime Munguia to get knocked out, it definitely is gonna put some halts on his career, man. Like, I don't know where he goes from here. I know the Mbili and Munguia fight was supposed to be next now that they were both at top rank. But with Munguia getting knocked out the way he did, I just heard that fight's not going to happen anymore. So, I mean, this has been the craziest news in boxing, man. What a crazy week. Anytime there's a big upset in boxing, you have to talk about it, man. And to me, Jaime Munguia losing is insane. You know what I'm saying? We have to let's go back about a year and some change ago, when Munguia fought. Um, Not even a year ago. What 10 months ago, when Munguia fought Canelo, he did get dropped early, but he got up. He recovered nicely. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Ahai Blasaz? Been good. What's up with you, man? Good. Hey, long time no talk, man. Welcome to the channel, man. Today I'm talking about Munguia, man. Last night, how Munguia basically, you know what I'm saying, had a tremendous performance against Canelo. I thought he fought well. You know, he lost, but he fought well, showed that he was a young, hungry lion and that he had a future potentially. And then, he fights this Sachi guy, this random French dude that no one knows. And, it's supposed to be a homecoming type fight for you. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be an easy fight. You're back in your hometown, Tijuana, and this guy no one's heard of. I don't know if he's in the rankings. I don't know anything about Sache, but this was supposed to be a very easy win for Jaime Munguia. It ended up being everything but that. I mean, he was winning every minute of every round, kind of like Sebastian Fundura. And what the hell? Hold on, y'all. Yo, can you hear me? I say blase. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's because you guys were connected to my Bluetooth. But yeah, man, like you were saying about you being at work, man, I be at work a lot, man. I work 6 days a week. I don't really have a lot of time. I actually work 7 days a week. I work every single day of the week, man. I have no days off. So with my schedule, for me to even go on live as much as I do, or give y'all what I can, and I do it for free, I think I do pretty well, man. You know what I'm saying? I think I do pretty well, and I want to continue. Like I said, I love the game of boxing, so I don't even mind going on here and doing it for free. I love doing that. But make sure I do what I got to do for the people that what I'm saying, for the people, so I could teach them the game of boxing. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna buy this charger real fast too. Yeah, bro. I mean, look. At the end of the day, I say Blase, it's never too late. You have an iPhone charger? iPhone charger. Where? ¿Dónde están? ¿No tienes uno de los viejos? Oh, pues está bien. Sí, el nuevo está bien también.
Sí, yo tengo de los viejos.
Ok.
Está.
Este está bien, yeah.
¿Tú lo quieres sin cabeza o con cabeza?
Yeah, está bien. Así.
Sí.
Ajá. ¿Cuántos cuestan esos?
Estos cuestan $7.
Ok.
Y esto cuesta.
No, nomás es esa parte. But yeah, bro, like I said, man, I think Munguia, because I could see it in the weigh-in.
Eso es todo. ¿Lo va a pagar con Apple Pay?
Sí, Apple Pay. ¿Todo bien?
Sí, todo
bien. Okay, gracias. All right, man. My bad, y'all. I had to get out the store, man. It was too loud in that bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? Got distracted. But yeah, bro, like I was telling y'all, man, I say Blase got up off here, man. We all be busy. So we don't have unlimited time to come on here, man. Now if this charger don't work, I know that it's just something funny going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, we're gonna find out right away. We're gonna find out right away, y'all. That shit better work. And it works. All right, we good, y'all. We good, man. On my way to work. I'm back, man. I'm not distracted. Okay. So back to what I was saying, y'all, because I ain't gonna lie, I was just distracted. You know what I'm saying? I live in the trenches, so when I'm out and about in the store, I gotta be on point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if anybody can understand or relate to that. But anyway, let's go back to I'll say Blase's comment, even though he's not here no more. Can't wait to have that moment to take off where I don't gotta work 5-6 days a week, and let alone 6 days like you, man. I mean, yeah, man, exactly, bro. I mean, we're all working towards that goal. We're all working towards that goal to, get to that point where we don't gotta work, man. That should be everyone's goal, man. You know, this life is too hard as it is, man. So I like to see people, doing what they want to do and making money to do it, man. That's how life is supposed to be. And on Middleman TV, we preach good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Ase Blase, man. I can say you've been rocking with me since the very beginning, man. Since the very fucking beginning. Where does Jaime Munguia go from here, y'all? Where the fuck does he go from here, man? We're talking about a guy who was about to fight Caleb Plant, Christian Mabili. You just lost to a guy that no one knows, bro. This is going to jeopardize Jaime Munguia's career, in my opinion. This is... I'm still here, family, but yeah. That KO was nasty. That's what I preach. Everyone who has respectable power. The reason why I like boxing more than I like any other sport like football or basketball is because at the end of the day, bro, on any given day, it's two men going against each other. There's no teammates. There's one referee. There's not fucking six referees. There's no there's political stuff with the judges. But when it's those two men in the ring, it's up to you. And Munguia was winning the whole entire fight. As we saw, all it takes is one moment to slip up, keep your hands too low, and get caught with a shot. These are all professional boxers at the end of the day, and he got caught with one, and he was not able to beat the count, man. And all I can tell y'all is, this is a normal thing in boxing, man. This is normal. And to be honest, uh, Munguia was not the only guy who got upset yesterday. Chevon Clarke, a guy that Eddie Hearn has been hyping up for years, or for at least a year. The last year, I've been hearing about Shakur Clarke and how he's this huge prospect, super middleweight. We need to be on the lookout for him. And cruiserweight. We need to be on the lookout for him. And he's going to be a killer, a future champion. And I don't even hear about this guy that he fought yesterday. All I really knew about the guy that he was fighting was that he had a little bit of pop. That's all I knew. But I'm thinking, okay, Shakur Clarke's going to take care of this guy. You know what I'm saying? The hype's around him. He did everything but, man. It was a close fight, but Shakur Clarke got beat pretty clearly. And yesterday was just the day of upsets, not close fight upsets. I'm talking about upsets that weren't meant to happen, that were not part of the plan. Top Rank had no intention for Jaime Munguia to fight in Tijuana, Mexico, and to make an embarrassment of himself in his hometown. That was not part of the plan. The plan was that it was supposed to be a homecoming fight, kind of like when Canelo fought John Ryder in Guadalajara. It was supposed to be a homecoming fight. It was supposed to be a big moment for Munguia. And what I think happened is, well, I was just telling my homie this yesterday when I talked to him about the fight. I think that Munguia fought and trained completely his ass off for the Canelo fight. I think he went 110% for the Canelo fight. I think since then he's gotten paid big money. You know, he's been in Mexico. He's been comfortable. He's probably been eating tacos, and the rest is history, man. It just, I mean, you could even see it the day before the fight in the weigh-in, man. Like, something about Munguia usually looks really excited about fighting. Like, he always looks excited about fighting. Always. I didn't see that from Munguia this time around. Like, he looked depressed in the press conference, and I'm just thinking, like, something that I noticed. You know what I'm saying? Like, not used to that. So I didn't think much of it though, because I didn't think that the performance was going to be, I didn't think that it would make a difference. I didn't think that the outcome would be different. I thought that Munguia was going to win this fight no matter what. So now, in my opinion, scratch the Canelo rematch for Munguia. If I'm Munguia, he needs to get back on the right track. Maybe a Demetrius Boo Boo Andre is not a far-fetched fight after all. I've been telling y'all, man. A lot of people sleep on Demetrius Andre. He only lost to one guy, and that's David Benavidez, a fucking light heavyweight and a monster. Demetrius Boo Boo Andre versus Munguia, to me, is still a very intriguing fight right now. Coming off losing 2 out of your last 3 fights if you're Munguia. Coming off a stoppage loss if you're Andrade. Make the fight happen, man. It's a good fight. Andrade versus Munguia is a hell of a fight. I think they should definitely make it. I'm just trying to weigh out realistic options for Munguia after getting knocked out cold by a no-name. And I just don't think Caleb Plant, Berlanga, or a Canelo rematch, or Mbili, they could happen, but I wouldn't go after like I said, I would probably try to go after a Demetrius Andre, because you don't want to go completely south, right? You want to still go north. You still want to, raise up your competition. You don't want to make it easier for you. You're still at a world level. You know what I'm saying? So I think Demetrius Boo Boo Andre would be a good fight. It would be a perfect fight, because to me the loser is in a very bad state in their career, and the winner, regroups. And I love moments like that, because that's where you really see the dog and the grit in fighters, is when their backs are against the walls. I don't know if you saw it with Teofimo Lopez. We've seen it with a lot of fighters, man. When their backs are against the wall, they show you who they are. So those are things I look for. Another fight that I wanted to talk about on my channel wasn't a big fight or anything like that, but it just stood out to me, so I wanted to talk about it. I remember another guy that Eddie Hearn hyped up on his channel or on his promotion was Gary Cully. For the longest, he would always say how Gary Cully was the next Irish special thing and how he was going to be he's such a good boxer. He could box circles around people. Maxie Hughes beat the living shit out of Gary Cully yesterday. Let me make that clear, man. It was one of the most one-sided beatdowns I've seen in recent memory. Shout out to Gary Cully for going the distance and showing like some type of heart and resilience. Going the distance, it takes a lot of heart to do that. But overall, I think that Gary Cully was completely outmatched by Maxie Hughes. And you know what? I'm gonna say it again, man. I watched Maxie Hughes 3 times now. 3 times now. George Kambosos, he won. Gary Cully, he won. And William Zepeda, he got stopped, but William Zepeda, he wasn't supposed to be. As far as I'm concerned, he got robbed against George Kambosos. I've seen Maxie Hughes pick up 2 wins. He's not a bad fighter. Um, and the future's bright for Maxie Hughes. I'm sure he's going to get at least 1 or 2 more paydays after that win against Gary Cully. I guarantee you that. Um, but yeah, overall, we learned a lot yesterday. We learned that in boxing, you cannot take anybody for granted. You can never take your opponents for granted because anything can happen on any given day, man. It's like anybody says, man. To me, boxing is the #1 sport where you could not take your shit lightly, bro. In basketball, at the end of the day, the star player takes a day off. The role players could pick up the slack. There is no role players in boxing. It's you, yourself, and your mind. You got your coach for a minute, and that's about it. Between rounds, and that's about it. So that's really what my take was on yesterday. That Jaime Munguia might not be who we thought he was, maybe, or it might just be that what I said about a month ago when I said Oscar De La Hoya does this time and time again, where he builds fighters up with a record. He builds them up like Arnold Barbosa, 30-0, Jaime Munguia, 42-0. He loves building records. And then when they step up, even Zurdo, what was he, 29, 30-0, builds these guys up, and then they step up, or they don't really prepare themselves for turmoil, and then when shit gets rough for them, they don't know what to do and they lose, and they find themselves looking goofy. And Oscar De La Hoya has a lot of nerve, right? Because he's always talking shit about how Eddie Hearn's not a good promoter. And let me make it very clear, I don't think Eddie Hearn's a good promoter either. I actually think we're in a very bad state of boxing when it comes to promoting. I think Top Rank is solid because Top Rank at least builds young fighters and they have a lot of shows. So they're very consistent on having dates. I like that about Top Rank. To me, they're the only one that and they don't feed you bullshit. Top Rank doesn't feed bullshit. They try to hype up and promote their own guys, but they're not gonna make their guy seem better than what he is. That's another thing about Top Rank. Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya will lie to the fucking bone, try to make their guys seem like they're way better than they are. And I mean, that's annoying for anybody. Who the fuck wants to hear you hype up a guy that we know isn't at the level that you make him seem? Like William Zepeda. Who the fuck does Oscar think he's fooling, man? William Zepeda is not that guy, man. I'm telling y'all, man. He's got some power. He's a decent fighter, but he's not that guy, man. I'm telling y'all. Just like Ryan Garcia was not that guy. Just like I don't believe Zordo's that guy. Just like I believe Arnold Barbosa may not be that guy. And I also don't believe that and Munguia, honestly, I said it for the longest. I think Munguia is probably the most skilled fighter that Oscar De La Hoya has on his stable. Um, with the most heart. That being said, man, it's just like I said. Back to what I was saying. We're in a bad state of promoting. I like what Top Rank's doing. Eddie Hearn has a lot of shows, and like he makes fights happen, and he works with Turkey Al-Sheikh, and he works with Frank Warren. So he does make a lot of the big fights happen. So I don't want to completely badmouth Eddie Hearn, but Eddie Hearn is a complete hypocritical liar, and he hypes up fighters that he has no business hyping up. That is Eddie Hearn for you. He's been this way for a while, and it's quite annoying. I have to be quite honest with y'all. And same with Oscar De La Hoya, y'all. But last thing I want to cover before I get off live, man, because I'm gonna be at work pretty soon. But just besides the Munguia losing, getting knocked out, besides Chevon Clarke getting upset, besides Gary Cully pretty much showing us that he's not even a world level fighter, in my opinion. Um, you know, I was gonna talk about this last week, but I was at work. I didn't really have time. I didn't really have time to go live and talk about it. But with Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, man. I just wanna bring this up really quick. Um, Gervonta got interviewed and he's said multiple times now, what has Shakur Stevenson done in boxing? He hasn't really looked good. He thinks that his little brother, Keyshawn Davis, has looked better than Shakur. And then Tank went to proceed to say, I'm gonna call somebody out after my next fight. It's gonna be a future champion. He's not champion yet. So he's pretty much already given us the clues that it's gonna be Keyshawn Davis that he calls out next. And obviously Keyshawn being hungry for that money fight and being the dog that he is, Keyshawn's gonna accept the fight. I want to make that very clear. I don't think Keyshawn can win at this stage of his career. I think it's way too early to take on a Tank fight. Even though he had a great amateur pedigree, and I do think he will give him a lot of competition because I do think a lot of Keyshawn Davis. I think he's a hell of a fighter. But if we're being honest here, man, I think that's what Gervonta Davis is going to do. But back to what he said about how Shakur hasn't done anything in boxing and how he hasn't looked good and how he's never played. How he basically is admitting to us on national television that, yeah, I'm not going to fight Shakur. I'm ducking him. Fuck him. Uh, I don't need to fight him. Like, bro, no one wants to hear that. Like, I don't want to hear that. True boxing fans don't want to hear that shit. 3 division silver medalist in the Olympics. He's done more than you in terms of accomplishing belts and weight classes and stuff like that and being unified and stuff like that. He's done way more than Tank. Tank's just, I would say, probably has fought better names, but as we all know, he's weight drained half the guys he's fought. So how serious can we take that, man? And like I said, man, Gervonta's got to stop the crap, man. Like his fans continuously allow him to make excuses on why he's not fighting Shakur Stevenson, and they allow it. They allow it. They say it's okay. They say Shakur's boring. They justify it. They find a reason on why he shouldn't fight Shakur, and they run with it. And those type of people need to stay far away from boxing, man. You don't want those people around boxing. Those people are not good for the sport. I agree. Eddie Hearn doesn't hype up fighters that be worthy of the hype. Shakur Stevenson. You, why aren't you hyping him up? Eddie, since Eddie Hearn's had him, man, Shakur hasn't really done much with him. Has he even had a fight with? No, Shakur hasn't even had a fight with Eddie Hearn yet. Let's start there. Then you got to go Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. This man was a 2 division champion. When I tell you guys, he had an amateur pedigree like no other. Boo Boo Andrade was a fucking beast. What did Eddie Hearn do? Didn't do anything. And what ended up happening? Boo Boo Andrade was forced to leave Matchroom, ended up having to join PBC, and now Demetrius Andrade's career is in fucking shambles. Eddie Hearn, man, doesn't know what he's doing, but he likes to hype up guys like Gary Cully and Chevon Clarke. And these are the things that I say, man. These are the things that I speak on when I say that promoters are full of shit and that they don't want to give us the honest truth, man. Eddie Hearn's been doing it for a while now, man. There's a couple guys on Eddie Hearn's stable that I think are really good, like Raymond Ford. I think Raymond Ford's a hell of a fighter. Shakur Stevenson, Dimitri Bivol. There's some. He's got some guys. Let's not make it seem like Hearn's got no guys, but put more focus on the guys I just named and less focus on the guys like Chevon Clarke and even like Connor Ben. Like no one wants to hear you guys hype up guys that to me, where's the future for these guys? All facts, bro. But I do think Keyshawn can beat. I think Keyshawn can beat Tank too, man. I want him to. I do think Keyshawn can beat Tank. Let me make that very clear because I know I said that I think it might be a little too soon. I just want Tank to be a man and go after the big brother first. It's only right that he goes after Shakur Stevenson first and then Keyshawn. Let Keyshawn win more belts. Let Keyshawn continue building his legacy while you fight Shakur, and then we come across and then we come back across that to that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my opinion on it. That's my personal opinion on it. I think that would be a very smart and strategic strategy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's what he's going to end up doing because I think Tank, like I've been saying for the last 2 years, I think Tank just wants easy at this point. So if he can I'm not saying Keyshawn's easy because I think Keyshawn's hard as fuck. But I think if Tank had to pick Keyshawn or Shakur, he's gonna pick Keyshawn. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Y'all already know this, man. Tank's biggest downfall, he's got a good chin and he got a good punch. To me, I don't think there's a lot of people in his weight class that are gonna knock him out. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna go the distance with just about anybody he fights Tank. That's me just being honest. So that being said, I think Tank's weaknesses are to get outboxed, to force him to chase you, outbox him, make him use his feet, make him use that ring, and frustrate him. Shakur uses the ring. He's got great footwork. He's got a great jab. He's got the perfect utensils to frustrate Gervonta Davis. Keyshawn Davis has hell of defense, and he's a hell of a fighter, hell of a counter puncher, and a very exciting fighter. But to me, Keyshawn's style plays into what Gervonta likes to do, and that's something that we have to keep in mind. Gervonta Davis is a counter puncher. Keyshawn Davis will engage and fight on the inside and trade with you because he feels like he has so much power and he's so confident in his utensils that he's gonna fight on the inside and he's gonna trade. And he is a counterpuncher in his own breath. I don't like that against Gervonta. I don't want to see him counter Gervonta because I don't want him to get countered by Gervonta. Gervonta can punch, man. To me, the strategy to beat Gervonta is to move and box. That is the strategy. We have to be honest here. And Shakur has it. Shakur has it, man. And Tank knows that. Tank's teams knows that. I've heard Leonard. I mean, not Leonard. I've heard Kenny Ellis and Calvin Ford on numerous times on record say, Shakur, why would we take that fight? We can't do what we do, stuff like that. So I mean, they've exposed their own selves in plenty of separate videos and stuff like that I could pull up uh, at later times, man. And these are the facts. These are the facts. When you know what I'm saying. Are when you say a fighter hasn't accomplished anything, and you say that he's not that good, but in the same breath y'all say y'all can't do what we do, and that y'all think the fans are gonna be bored. Like, what is it? So like it's all about the money for Tank because he's not chasing belts. You got to keep in mind Shakur's in his weight class. Shakur has a belt. So for Tank to be saying like Tank is basically telling you guys up close and personal. I don't give a shit about belts. I'll never chase legacy. I don't care about undisputed. I don't care about any of that stuff. Fuck all that stuff. Fuck accolades. All I care about is I'm a hood motherfucker from Baltimore. I started off in the trenches and now I'm getting money. I'm a hero. Like, yo, can y'all hear me? Blase, can you still hear me? My bad. People kept calling me, man. Fucking shit, man. Yo, can y'all hear me? But yeah, like I was saying, man, this is what it comes down to. These are the facts. And you know what I'm saying? It's clear that Gervonta Davis is, I think we're gonna be 2, 3 years down the line. We're gonna be talking about, you know, how Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis, the biggest fight in the 135-pound division, maybe in the history of 135-pound fights ever, never was made because Gervonta Davis decided to say that he felt like Shakur hasn't done anything. And forever that will stick with me, and it should stick with real boxing fans that Gervonta Davis wants nothing to do with Shakur Stevenson, man. It's lame. It's outlandish. It's like the number one thing that I like to bring up that people don't seem to bring up that I always emphasize, Blase, is that he's fighting Lamont fucking Roach. Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach lost to Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring got stopped by Shakur Stevenson, the same guy that Tank said has done nothing. But he stopped the guy that beat the guy you're about to fight. I don't get it, man. Like, Tank has an IQ of about 40. He's not smart. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, most of his fans aren't smart. So he can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but like as long as I'm preaching the game of boxing, I'm gonna make sure I do what I gotta do to let y'all know that Tank's the biggest duck in boxing. That Tank has ruined the game of boxing, him and Canelo Alvarez, and that I'll never respect them ever. And that's pretty much the truth, man. And All right, y'all. I'm about 2 minutes away from work. Oh wait, oh shit, we got Drizzle. Hold on, what Drizzle say? But Shakur said Tank fighting is IQ is high as fuck, bro. But that's obvious, Drizzle. We all knows that Tank has a high IQ. Tank is a hell of a fighter. We all know that, man. The problem with Tank is he doesn't want to fight or challenge himself, bro. That's those are the facts, bro. Tank could fight anybody he wants. He's the cash cow. He's the A side. And they asked him about Shakur Stevenson, and he came up with an excuse. That's it. That's it, man. Like, do you want to keep hearing Gervonta Davis say? You heard him in the interview. I mean, Shakur ain't done nothing. What has he done? What has he done? What has he done? Yeah, Keyshawn's looked better. 3 division champion, beat the shit out of Jamel Herring, Jamel Herring beat the shit out of Lamont Roach. And Shakur stopped Jamel Herring. And you said Shakur ain't done nothing, but you fighting Lamont Roach, the guy who lost to Jamel Herring. Make it make sense, gang. And I'm going to leave it at that. He got to fight Shakur in 2025. It's that simple. And if he doesn't, like I said, man, I'm going to be making a lot of videos going forward about how Gervonta Tank Davis is the biggest duck in boxing. All right, y'all. I'm about to be at work, man. I'm gone, y'all. Peace. I will be back later, or I will drop a video later, man. I'm gone. I appreciate y'all checking out the live. Make sure y'all hit that fucking like button before y'all go. And bless the channel if y'all can, man. I'm gone. Appreciate you, Drizzle. Appreciate you, Blissall. I'll be back. I'm gone. Peace. And he should challenge himself and move up. I agree with you. Make sure y'all hit that fucking like button before y'all exit the building, man. I'm gone. Peace.